Hello, my name is Scott Blank, and this is my Fundamentals of Physics podcast. For this podcast, I've chosen to explain the physical elements of a roller coaster. More specifically, the physics of the Storm Runner in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania. The driving force of every roller coaster is gravity. From the top of the first hill, gravity takes over and propels a roller coaster throughout the rest of the track. The Storm Runner is unique in that it has a hydraulic launch that pushes the train into motion from 0 to 72 in 2 seconds. The hydraulic launch works using Pascal's principle, which says that any change in pressure applied to a fluid at any given point is transmitted undiminished throughout the fluid. This acceleration has enough speed to send the train down the track and upwards 90 degrees to the top of the 150-foot first hill. This acceleration must beat the force of gravity, air resistance, and the friction of the track for the train to make it to the top. The first drop is 180 feet, giving the train a lot of potential energy, and in turn this means at the bottom of the hill it'll have a lot of kinetic energy. This kinetic energy is the result of an increase in velocity caused by the force of gravity. As the train proceeds down the hill, it loses potential energy as it gains kinetic, according to the law of conservation of energy. This law states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be converted. For a real roller coaster, though, not all energy is conserved because of the friction. Friction is a non-conservative force, as well as air resistance. As the train climbs upwards to the second element of the ride, it loses kinetic energy and gains potential. The train acts like it will loop, and right when the train is completely upside down, it spins right side up and travels downward. This is called an immelman. The train moves upwards again and enters a heartline roll, which is relatable to a corkscrew. Right after that, you do a flying snake dive, which is somewhat like coming into a loop from upside down, going towards the bottom. The train makes it through all these, using the conservation of energy law and gravitational force. But there's a special acceleration in these elements called centripetal acceleration. It is calculated by squaring the velocity and dividing it by the radius of the circle. The smaller the curve path and the larger the velocity, the larger the centripetal acceleration. While you ride these elements, your body feels centrifugal force, which is the feeling of being stuck to the seat that you experience. This is caused by your body's inertia or resistance to change in direction. A roller coaster's intensity is measured in g-forces, where 1g is the actual force of the Earth's gravitational pull. When at the top of the hill, you can experience 0 g's, which is weightlessness. When experiencing centripetal force, you feel heavier, or experience more than 1g.